Hello my fellow readers, in this video I'm going to talk about Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. So this is a manga series by Idolro. I hope I said that right. No idea. It's kind of a different name than what I'm used to. And before I proceed, I'm just going to say that this is only going to be based on volume 1. I do have more of the series, but it's not completed yet, so I haven't read through the rest of it. Like I have some volumes and then there's a break where I'm waiting for the volume to be delivered, and then it like continues past that. So I don't know. I'm just going to base this on volume 1. That's it. I might do like a continuation review as I read more of the series, but that's some time in the future. It's not for now. And I might do that with more manga too that I've started to read but haven't finished, because I like sometimes to go back and revisit it if it was a series that I was really into, but maybe it didn't end. I'd like for you to know that, because maybe I was really into the beginning and then it, you know. If you're a reader of manga, you really know, because sometimes it just, something happens and it goes wrong. I like how too, like sometimes the story is good and it's progressing a certain way, but maybe it didn't sell as much and then they have to give it an abrupt ending. Or other times they want to just keep it going because it's a big seller and you're like, oh my goodness, and you have to slog through like so much boring material. So I don't know, this is going to be based on volume 1, and I don't know if that sounds negative. It's not negative. I enjoyed this very much. One, I think the art is beautiful. I know that's like, it's silly, but honestly, art does a lot to me if I'm reading a manga. Like I like it to be art that is pleasing to me. But beyond that, what is this story about? So the story takes place at this certain academy. Let me see, I wrote it down. Kamome Academy. And at this academy, there are 7 mysteries that go about. It's like part of the school's lore. And one of them is Toilet Bound Hanako-san. And it is believed that if you go to that toilet and to the certain stall and you knock and make a request for Hanako-san, Hanako-san will grant one wish in exchange for something in return. I think it's like something valuable to you in return. So when we get into the story, we're following the female protagonist, Nene Yashiro. And Yashiro is desperate to have a wish granted, obviously. So she goes to the stall and she knocks and she calls for Hanako. And what appears is the spirit of Hanako-kun, who is not a girl. They believed that the spirit was a female, but he's a boy, not a girl. And they have a conversation, and yes, he can grant a wish. So what does she want? And she tells him that she wants this person to fall in love with her, to immediately fall in love with her. And Hanako tells her that he doesn't have a magical item to make it so, but they can follow the rules of this love guidebook and he will grant her wish. So he then goes about like trying to find out like what special skills Yashiro has and how they can lure in the sky. And everything is just like failing miserably. It's not going well. And at one point, it's craziness. At one point, Hanako drops something that interests Yashiro. So she opens it up and she's like, hey, Hanako-kun, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's for matchmaking. And like before he can say that, like she puts it in her mouth. And he's like, no, don't do that. If you and the person you want to match with like eat this, you'll be cursed. I think they'd be cursed together or whatever. She does end up swallowing the mermaid scale. And I don't remember why she runs off from Hanako. Maybe just so that she doesn't have to hear anything, or maybe it was to find the senpai that she has a crush on. But when she sees him, he's being confessed to by another girl. And You know, at first she's worried he's going to accept that, but instead he says no, he can't accept because he is in love with somebody else and has been for a long time. And when Yashiro hears this, she's kind of crushed, but also comes to realize that it wasn't really him so much that she was in love with as the idea of being with someone and having somebody care about her like that. So she looks down and notices that her arm is becoming scales. And then poof, she transforms into a fish. And Hanako finds her and puts her in water. And then there's an epic battle with the mermaid whose scale it belongs to. I don't remember if Hanako, I think he vanquishes her, but whatever. His solution to Yashiro's wish and to the current situation that they're in is to swallow the other scale himself. And then Yashiro turns back into human Yashiro, and Hanako reveals that they're bound to each other now, which answers her wish for someone, because really what she wanted was someone being bound to her. It's kind of weird. It kind of equates in his mind going out, because they're bound to one another. And also it grants Yashiro a person, a human that he can use. That sounds weird, but to have do other work for him. And yeah, from there we end up going into like storylines that, you know, they look into different paranormal occurrences in the school. We do meet an exorcist that wants to exorcise Hanako. They have a battle, but neither really wins. I mean, Hanako wins. And during that battle, it is revealed by the exorcist that Hanako has the knife that he has because he murdered somebody in the past, and that's why he's here and should be exorcised. And Hanako says, you know, yeah, I did murder somebody, but that is why I'm here, because this is my punishment. I have to do my penance here. And he does end up winning the little fight. The exorcist is still alive. It's not like that kind of fight. And becomes kind of this side character companion. And Hanako also learns that Yashiro has decided that she will trust him and stay by his side anyway, because he's always saving her. So even though she finds out this, what would seemingly be a deal breaker truth about Hanako, instead she decides to stay by his side. And yeah, from there, the end part of Volume 1 is the start of an investigation to the second of the 7 mysteries, which has to do with the staircase. And they get in touch with this spirit, this second mystery, who tells Yashiro that she wants them to find her body, starting with, I think, her right arm. It's one of her arms. And so they set out on a quest to do that, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the next volume, which I could read. I actually do have the second one, but I figured I'd film this and get it out of the way before moving on. I feel like this is a very promising start to the series. I do also have the anime. I have not watched it yet. Surprise, surprise. It seems like every time I talk about a manga that has an anime adaptation, I have not seen it yet, but I mean, such is life. Sometimes I'm too busy reading to watch. There's so much. There's so much. But I think this is going to be a cute, fun series. I like the added paranormal element. I usually like that kind of storyline in manga. I like the character designs. I think they're cute. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of juvenile looking, because I think they are they high school? I think she's 14. I can't remember now. Anyway, but I like the character design. I think it's cute and like fun to adventure with these designs. I like them. You know, it's not overly beautified like some of my shoujo characters, but it's also not unattractive. Like they're interesting characters. And Hanako will say things that's like questionable, but then like when he clarifies, it's not that bad. But just check that character. It's like I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's good, and would recommend. It's worth the read, at least as far as volume 1 is concerned. But I'm thinking that's a good start to what will be an enjoyable series. So that is it for this video. Until next time, bye.